Okay, I think I've got the right setting on. I need to remember, I think, from what I'm looking at, I keep saying I think, it's, yeah, I'm trying to understand the camera, right? You can see there that quality is helping out. Trying to get it to work in 4K. Right, I'm doing this from my camera so that it's better, so that you can actually see what I'm seeing, because Facebook compresses videos, so it's not as great. So I've been on with it today, more or less, well, obviously. Yeah, just trying to get the majority of this build. I know it's not perfect, as some people do say, in order for it to be... Oddball, just give me a minute. For it to be finished, obviously. I know it needs to look a bit more finished. But you know, I did mention ages ago, I'm the type of person to spray a bit of paint here, do a bit of body filler spray here, you know. Nothing's ever a consistent solid fin, as long as it looks the part. But at the minute, I'm just rushing away and getting fins more or less sorted. I did try some out, I went back on I didn't like it, so I'm sticking to this reflective tint for the slats. Basically I wanted them to look solid, and I bought this, basically this, it looks good, but then when it was placed on, it doesn't, I don't know, it just looked a bit off, so I wasn't really sold on the look. I'm going to use it still, not going to waste it. I will use these because they're rectangle, and at the bottom of the slats it tapers out, so you could ever so slightly see, whereas these were custom cut by hand. So I don't know, this gold looks a little darker than this. It just didn't, it looked good, but as soon as then it got glued on, it just looked completely out of, I don't know, I just didn't, just did not like it. I'll use this though for the pyro props, so it doesn't get wasted, because money right now is scarce. I need to make sure whatever I buy, I'm definitely using. So at the minute, I'm learning as I'm going along. I think I mentioned, this is the first time I am ever using the Scotch display mount adhesive that someone at work told me about, so that it didn't, like normal spray adhesive that I glued these on with, has like a stringy web type thing, which you don't want this happening on this because of how these tiny little holes. So I yeah, found that, paid 26 quid for a big can, but all in all it should be good enough, because there's 4 of these neck bins, 6 in total if you count in the black Imperial I mentioned, because this for now is just Imp 1J for the time being, and as I mentioned, I reached out to Tom's Refurbishments and I'm waiting to get, I'm basically making a brand new neck and dome, because to me personally they're good, but I think they're a little top heavy, so I'm having the neck basically tapering more, the dome ever so slightly shrunk, because when I look at it, it looks like the eye and all that just looks, even though these are in scale, they always look a little too small. So I think the dome should always look a little tinier and should taper up a bit more. You are in a mood today. The paint job, for what I've paid, is actually going quite well. I bought 2 cans. One is slightly different to the other because I wasn't too sure. So the appendages, maybe until we take it out when it's out in broad daylight, you might see it differently. The bumps are all going to be the darker shade. The appendages, the eye, I don't know if the dome light. I don't think so. I think the appendages are getting the lighter stuff. But when I'm coming to painting the bumps, I first do them in, so never mind about that red I did before, because that's no longer getting done, because there's no need, I found, with this. I'm doing the dark etch primer, which is like a grey. Then I do the light to get a first base coat, and then I do the darker shade over the top. It's very, very, I couldn't even describe it to you. 50 is the lighter one, but if I was, will you zoom? You see, I'm still trying to learn how this, there, I have to tap on the screen. So this is M5-050, so this is lighter, and the other one's number 40. So I don't know where the other one is. Where is it? Somewhere here. I did put it somewhere. Oh, you have to take my word for it anyway. I could be using this camera on, you know, I'm finding as I'm going along, as you saw from the video, it started off poor quality, and then gradually throughout the video, because I kept changing the settings, it got better and better. But I mean, from a side, it's always the side proportion that looks better, me personally. So yeah, slowly and surely, it has a really, I don't know, a rich look to this type of gold. And every time people, I was saying this last time, here's an example. The white looks like standard white, but as mentioned, it is an antique white. So if you were to then put some pure white at the side of it, you can ever so slightly see this has like more of a cold look to it. This is more warm. I hope that's showing on camera, but there's your basic white. So it is an off-white colour. I've mentioned I am having to, in order for it to look a bit better, I do need to thin down the paint because these brush marks are absolutely horrid. And again, I have to tap the screen. There, you can see they are not perfect. This was because I was just trying to hide all the imperfections. I had to recalibrate this. I will fill over these. But as mentioned, once I've done the event with this doesn't have to look perfect. Once I've done that, I am having a brand new neck, brand new dome, a brand new base. So for the time being, the wheels are not going in the skirt, they're just going to go back on this base. Everything gets put back together. I need to start drilling holes in the shoulders and shaping the insides for them to start being bolted, so I don't worry about them moving off, because the neck's original, so it's always staying. This part though is not bolted yet, and neither is this skirt to the base. I need to slightly bend the skirt this side because it's, I think I've got a sharp eye, you're seeing it slightly flares, but that's because the skirt's gone in too much, so I need to pull it out with screws and then drill new bolt locations, and then that'll be done. And then to fill it, I know you can see that little gap. I am going to get to them. I have to take all these little blocks out that were holding everything and get some body filler, and so I'm having to do lots of, because polyester stinks more than the body filler, and I'm trying really hard to not make anything smell as bad. So body filler in them corners with some fiberglass mat. It's messy, but it does work for what I'm just doing, because like I say, this Dalek will then eventually be the master for all of the moulds. So this skirt, these shoulders, but sadly not the neck or the dome or the base. I've mentioned how I'm doing the base when I've got to work. Basically buying some like dense foam, and instead of building something, I'm carving away with the material. It'd just be a lot easier, and then taking a brand new mould from that. But yeah, I know for everyone else, it's, you know, some people who are just watching the channel and just thinking, you know what's best anyway, but honestly, it's, to those who are like in the fandom will know it's getting there. It's not perfect, and it's not a replica, but it is looking a hell of a lot better. I look back at his original pictures of in the bedroom, and I thought I was really proud of it. His build back then was more about accuracy with the functionality. So the A-frame in the fin, the fiberglass shoulders. The neck wasn't original to the design, but I still wanted everything to be fiberglass, all these struts to be moulded. Just everything about him to look, you know, like an Imperial. But now, obviously, now looking at this, it's a hell of a lot better. I would turn the light on, but it's again not the greatest. Is that I'm going to eventually, in this kitchen and living room, have some ambient light going all the way around the top with some cowling tied it, like you get at like Indian takeaways, you know, they have that sort of hidden LEDs. So something like that, just to give this room a bit more, because it's central here, but the rest of the room's just too dark. So in here in the living room, or every room in the house basically, or eventually have it done. So yeah, it's not the most exciting thing, but we're now getting to the fun part of adding on, which this part is always the fun part, maybe because I don't do it a lot. And I'm not bothered, before anyone says anything, about the messy look with the crinkle of the gold, if it'll focus. I think because of how much noise there is, it doesn't like to. I think it's gradually getting it. You can definitely see me on that one, but that's because that one's not glued down, that's finny. These ones though are currently glued, and then there's obviously originally was to see out of this, but because I've sprayed, this is all going to be fogged up on the inside. So, but it reduces weight by notching out some extra. So it does mean it is kind of original to the props with just these 6 windows at the front. And how I'm going to do it this time is adding stuff as usual, gluing to the tint first, and then cutting a massive rectangle and then pasting it on the inside, and then some mesh to support it from not rattling back and forth. Only way to keep it to the fin, I think. Originally I was having big chunks of wood, but again, we want as less weight as possible. So you can probably see, if I can get a good angle, there's some body filler that I tried. I have filled the rest of them big slats. I've just got these last 2 to do. I've got to clean up the inside a bit more, reattach this eye stalk, finish this eye stalk, in fact, with some filler. And I need to fix this side of the pivot, because when I did it originally, like I say, because of the heat, it bowed it, whereas the black has come out a bit better because of it being a bit cooler. Finish it all up. The eye is pretty much there. This was built by hand, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's a hell of a lot accurate to any other Dalek. I was looking so many times and I realised my pupils were too small, so I've had to scale them out to a standard M6 washer and then a rivet. And then this time this is a new one because I didn't like the other one was a mess, so I took the old one out, got a fresh one, and then basically sprayed all the paints that I was using on a piece of card and then dabbing it and applying it by what is it? Cotton bud. So it's not perfect, but it gets the point across. It's like I say, when I was doing him in 2021, when I finished him, you know, when he was all finished, I was actually really proud of that. But here I am in 2025, and who knows, in another 5 years I'll do it all again. Maybe I find something that I don't like. But I mean, from what I'm seeing right now, and this kitchen's not very big, but what I'm seeing, but then again, what will I say in 4 years' time? But no, it is a hell of a lot better. Another personal thing that I like is my shoulders. You'll look at the Imperials and you think, what am I doing? But I like them to sort of have like this, basically overhanging at the back, as if it's balancing out the weight of the plunger. Some people might like that, because every time I put it central, I don't know, it just looks too synchronized, like everything's just a bit too perfect. So I think the whole it having a bit of a overhang at the back more than the front sort of counterbalances the plunger out. But that's a me thing. I am making this just my own type of thing. It's not meant to be a replica. Like I mentioned, the neck will be different on the next one. It is going to taper in a hell of a lot more than this one, because I think they're just a little too broad, I'll be honest. I think they should have smaller domes. Who knows, we'll only have to see what happens when Tom reaches back out. If not, if that doesn't happen, I am, by next month when I get paid, I'm going to do the 4 installments that I mentioned and get a brand new 3D printer and get back into all that if I have to do things myself. I know I've got a lot of things in mind that I need to now 3D print. So with that, I think that's pretty much it on the Imp1J Dalek. Oh, and when he's in the film as well, he'll be mainly in the background, so he will be there, but he'll be like I don't know, like when you're a Dalek nerd, can you spot which prop is which sort of thing? Or that's just me because I'm sad. Like most of us Dalek builders, we are a bit sad like that, trying to find out which prop is which. But yeah, he'll be there anyway, in the background.